The year is 1215, a time of great upheaval and transformation. England, a kingdom in turmoil, is on the brink of a significant change. It witnesses a pivotal moment in history, the signing of the Magna Carta, a document that would alter the course of governance forever. This document, sealed by King John at Runnymede, a meadow by the River Thames, was more than just a peace treaty. It was a revolutionary charter that challenged the absolute authority of the king and laid the groundwork for future democratic principles. The Magna Carta sowed the seeds for democracy, not just in England but across the world, influencing countless nations and legal systems. Imagine a time when the king's word was law, an era where the monarch's decisions were absolute and unchallenged. To grasp the magnitude of this event, one must understand the context of a society where the king's whims dictated the lives of his subjects. The Magna Carta, meaning Great Charter in Latin, was a beacon of hope for those who sought justice and fairness. It wasn't a sudden outburst but a culmination of simmering discontent among the English barons, powerful nobles who felt increasingly sidelined by King John's tyrannical rule. These barons, frustrated and marginalized, yearned for a system where their rights were recognized and respected. They envisioned a society where the law, not the king's whims, dictated their lives, ensuring a fair and just governance. The Magna Carta, therefore, wasn't about overthrowing the monarchy, but about establishing a balance of power. It was a groundbreaking attempt to create a system of checks and balances, a concept that would resonate through the ages and inspire future generations. The legacy of the Magna Carta is a testament to the enduring human spirit's quest for justice, equality, and the rule of law. King John, infamous for his cruelty and greed, inherited a kingdom already on the brink. Costly wars, exorbitant taxes levied to fund his lavish lifestyle, and his blatant disregard for the established customs and rights of his nobles created a volatile atmosphere. The barons, once loyal supporters of the crown, found themselves increasingly at odds with their king. Imagine being a wealthy baron, your lands passed down through generations, only to see them seized by the king on a whim, or being subjected to arbitrary taxes, your hard-earned wealth siphoned off to fund the king's extravagant lifestyle. This was the reality for many under King John's rule. The Magna Carta was their cry for fairness, a demand for a system where their rights were protected and the king was bound by the law, just like everyone else. The Magna Carta wasn't a constitution, it was a collection of clauses addressing specific grievances of the barons. These grievances were primarily against King John's arbitrary rule and heavy taxation, which had pushed the barons to the brink of rebellion. The document was a direct response to the king's abuse of power, and aimed to restore some balance between the monarchy and the nobility. However, within those clauses lay principles that would become cornerstones of democracy. These principles, though initially intended to protect the interests of the barons, would evolve over time to benefit a broader segment of society. The Magna Carta's influence extended far beyond its original context, inspiring future generations to fight for their rights and freedoms. One of the most famous clauses, Article 39, stated that no free man could be imprisoned, stripped of his property, or exiled except by the lawful judgment of his peers, or by the law of the land. This clause was revolutionary for its time, as it introduced the idea that the king's will was not absolute, and that even he was subject to the law. This principle, known as habeas corpus, established the right to due process and protection against arbitrary arrest and detention. It laid the foundation for modern legal systems, ensuring that individuals could not be deprived of their liberty without a fair trial. The concept of habeas corpus has since become a fundamental human right, enshrined in many legal systems around the world. Another significant clause limited the king's ability to levy taxes without the consent of the Common Council of the kingdom. This was a direct challenge to the king's authority and a step towards a more participatory form of governance. By requiring the king to seek approval for taxation, the Magna Carta introduced the idea that rulers should be accountable to their subjects. This laid the groundwork for representative government, where the people, through their elected representatives, have a say in how they are governed and taxed. Over time, this principle would evolve into the parliamentary systems we see today, where elected officials represent the interests of their constituents and hold the government accountable. While the Common Council at that time didn't represent the common man, the principle of limiting the king's power through consultation and consent was revolutionary. It marked the beginning of a shift towards a more balanced and just system of governance, where power was not concentrated in the hands of a single ruler, but was distributed among various stakeholders. This idea would continue to evolve, influencing the development of democratic institutions and the rule of law in the centuries to come. The signing of the Magna Carta didn't usher in an era of peace and prosperity overnight. It was a document born out of conflict and desperation, a last-ditch effort by the barons to curb the tyrannical rule of King John. In fact, it triggered a civil war in England, as King John, having signed the document under duress, reneged on his promises. The barons, who had forced his hand, were not willing to let the matter rest. The barons, feeling betrayed, rose up in rebellion, plunging the kingdom into chaos. This period of unrest saw numerous battles and sieges, with both sides suffering heavy losses. The death of King John in 1216, however, paved the way for a more stable period. His passing marked the end of a tumultuous chapter and the beginning of a new era. His son, Henry III, was a minor, and the Regency Council, recognizing the importance of appeasing the barons, reissued the Magna Carta in a revised form. This act was crucial in maintaining a fragile peace. This reissued version, known as the Magna Carta of 1225, became the definitive text and was entered into English law. It included several new clauses and reaffirmed the commitment to the rule of law. While the immediate aftermath of the Magna Carta was turbulent, its principles began to take root, slowly but surely reshaping the relationship between the ruler and the ruled. Over time, it laid the groundwork for the development of constitutional governance, influencing legal systems far beyond England's borders. The true significance of the Magna Carta lies not just in its immediate impact, but in its enduring legacy. Though many of its clauses were specific to the feudal system of the 13th century and were later repealed or superseded, its core principles, the rule of law, due process, and limitations on the power of the monarch, resonated through the ages, inspiring generations of reformers and revolutionaries. The Magna Carta's influence can be seen in the English Bill of Rights of 1689, the American Declaration of Independence, the French Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen, and countless other constitutional documents around the world. It served as a beacon, reminding people that they have inherent rights and that the government's power is not absolute, but derived from the consent of the governed. The Magna Carta wasn't a perfect document. It didn't grant rights to everyone, and its primary beneficiaries were the barons. However, within its parchment lay ideas that were truly revolutionary for their time. Ideas that sparked a flame that would eventually grow into the bonfire of democracy that illuminates the world today. It reminded us that power, unchecked, corrupts, and that the law should apply equally to all, even the king. The Magna Carta's enduring legacy lies in its symbolism, its message of hope, and its affirmation that the pursuit of liberty and justice is a timeless human endeavor. It stands as a testament to the power of collective action, reminding us that even in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds, ordinary people can achieve extraordinary things when they stand united for a just cause.